In this video, we're waiting at an intersection with a student to make a left turn, and there's oncoming traffic. The light is green, so we're waiting in our waiting position. Now, the moment the light turns to yellow, notice we're not moving, and then the light turns to red, and we're still not clearing the intersection in a timely manner. So, if that happens on the test, it's the end of the test. So, let's walk this video back and figure out how this student could have done better. So, the light is green. And for as long as the light is green and the oncoming traffic is close, then we need to yield the way. However, the moment the light turns to yellow, we need to take our foot off the brake. When we take our foot off a brake in an automatic vehicle, what happens is we start inching forward in a slow, steady speed. And as we're inching forward, we're trying to see whether this last car is slowing down to stop. If they are, we go ahead and finish our turn. And if they're not, if they're planning on running the yellow, that's fine. We let them run the yellow and we inch forward and tuck in behind them. And if we see the person behind them is also trying to run the red, so be it, we let them run the red and then we tuck in behind them. But what we don't want to do is just sit here in our waiting position because it's going to look like we've forgotten about our light. And the examiner is going to give you the benefit of the doubt maybe for a second before they have to speak up and say, okay, let's clear the intersection. If they say that, then that means they helped you during your maneuver, and that means you can't drive on your own safely just yet. So let's see what happened here again. Light was green, oncoming traffic, shouldn't be cutting in front of them if it means that we would be impeding their movement. So far so good. And light turns yellow, we should start rolling. See, we sat there for, let's see how many seconds later we started rolling. So we got the yellow right there at 9 seconds into the video, and the student didn't roll until here, so 13 seconds. 4 seconds we sat there on the yellow, and that's not acceptable on the road, because you got to think when this light turns to red, who's going to get the green, right? The cross traffic here is getting the green, and now you're sitting there in the intersection when there was no need. You're impeding the movement of the cross traffic. There are certain situations where we can see that someone is blatantly trying to go through the yellow and they could have stopped. Let's say if this vehicle back here um, decides, you know what, I'm not going to slow down, I'm just going to go through the light. Well, we can tell that that's going to happen based on their speed. If their speed is telling us they're not planning on slowing down to stop, then we got to yield the way to them and let them clear the intersection before we finish off our turn. But in this case, we can see they're slowing down, they're trying to stop. So we don't have to wait till they make a full stop, because if we do that, then we're turning late and we're turning on the red light. So this is something that catches a lot of people on the test. Uh, if you're not clearing the intersection in a timely manner, then that means you're not driving safely and you won't get the license. So practice this, and you got to think of it this way. Nothing bad is going to happen if you take your foot off the brake and start inching forward in a straight line, right? As you're inching forward, that's when you can try to figure out, hey, are these people slowing down to stop? If they are, I'll go ahead and make my turn. And if they're not, so be it. I'll let them go through the intersection and then I'll tuck in behind them. Either way, we get the ball rolling as soon as we get the yellow. Um, and this is why it's important to keep your wheels straight and your vehicle straight, because when the light changes, we don't want to quickly make a left turn. We need to pull into the intersection in a straight line and then make the turn. And so all of those safety components come together when you're about to make that turn. Our safe waiting position then allows us to have a little bit of buffer room to work with as we're gauging the oncoming traffic.